Good morning, Star Wars fans. Thanks for joining me again this week for another episode of the Massasi Training Temple. It's Sunday morning, and because I wanted to get these out every Sunday, I'm going to just shoot this one raw, straight off the cuff. Now, you may not know, but yesterday and today it's the NPC tournament that's happening, and yesterday was very exciting. Oh man, the game between Steve Harpster and Greg Shaw. Steve is playing CCT, and he has got some spicy tech. I'm not going to spoil it, you need to watch it, but damn, some of those turns were, I think my heart rate would have given Timo Dusel a run for his money the other day when he was doing the Outrider Cup. If you haven't checked out the NPC, definitely recommend you do it. There was some really interesting decks yesterday. I think set 17 has really opened up a lot of new things that we can build, we can try. Stuff where, for dark side, 80, walkers, I tried that before with the Hoth, careful planning, but it was always a struggle to get the activation going, and having the right cards. But in Eric Hunter's build, game 1 yesterday, his build looked great. Didn't struggle for activation, it didn't seem like, and just looking forward to seeing what the deck build was and getting to play that. So super exciting weekend. Definitely check out the Star Wars CCG PC Twitch account, and I'm sure they'll probably be on YouTube by now, because I think Dan, who takes care of that, he's super quick at getting everything on YouTube as well. So I recommend you all look that up. And that was just a little bit of an announcement, a little intro into today's episode. So let's get on with it. So this week has been a lot of fun playing this deck. As we said last week, this is the objective, or the epic event I've been using. The Force is strong with my family, and we focused on My Father Has It, using Anakin and Obi-Wan. So, quick review about the epic event and the build. So if you watched last week's episode, you saw that I tried to do ground and space, and it just did not work at all. Too many card slots were taken up with the space. My ground package had no tricks, basically. And with these builds, I'm finding you need to obviously play your activation package. So the Return of the Jedi, and this is pod racing to get your sights out. Between all that and then the space, it just didn't work at all. Easily got crushed both in space and on the ground. So I put a thread on the forum. My Father Has It. A couple of people commented, gave some really good ideas. This one is built from Chris Kelly. He put a post in the forum about using Draw Their Fire battle plan. Battle plan is great. You get to initiate battles for free, and then it denies your opponent some force because they've got obviously save to play tricks. And when your locations are non-battlegrounds, apart from the farm, that's some nice synergy there. He also suggested putting the extra grabber in, which I did. And to help with force, I chucked in a careful planning, which now that I'm looking at it, it's you can tell I didn't play it. It's the V1, and it shouldn't be. It should be the non-V. So let's change that right now. This is the problem when you play V cards and you want the original. I keep doing it with Point Man. I keep putting the original Point Mans in. Anyway, so a nice addition that I chucked in as well with this one is Cal Alder because he deploys as a react, so I was just holding him in my hand, never deployed him other than that. He deploys -1 rebel leader. I don't think I've got any rebel leaders in the deck. No. But he only deploys for 2, forfeits for 4, which is nice. And unless he's with Luke, opponent must use 1 force to fire their weapons, and Ellis Heroic can't transport characters to or from here. So, in one of my games, my opponent was playing the Revenge of the Sith, and yeah, I think I did actually deploy him on that turn, but I just went down with like Leia, Gurn, Yoda, and yeah, just played Antilles Maneuver. You got pay 1 to fire weapons. I had Drill of Fire, so they got pay 1 to play interrupts. Dropped Cal. I think he barriered my Yoda. That was it. He had a force left. He barriered my Yoda. Then I went down with Leia. I put Leia's lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber on her. Deployed Cal. Battle. And I think I either had the clash or on the mess, and yeah, just cleared the site out because he couldn't fire weapons and he couldn't play interrupts. So that was a really nice sort of combo played. But yeah, this deck, I actually liked it. And let's just go to the other one. This is the one that I have played the most games with. So I've played about 15 games this week using this build, and obviously you can see I've changed it quite a few times. Lots of things going in and out. This one, you can see the name, but I've called it the Shaw Muning, Yo Muning, because I ended up nicking Greg Shaw's Yoda Communing from Worlds, and then obviously swapped out all that stuff for the My Father Has It epic event designed for this deck, which is the Return of the Jedi. Obviously it pulls Obi-Wan's Hut, Obi-Wan's Journal, a card with Mentor, and the last text doesn't matter. This is the build that I've landed on, and I've been having some success and also some fun with it. It's not got a huge character package, but I found these guys have got some, staying power, especially with a few of the tricks. Game plan with this build, the first things I'm, looking for is obviously activation. So you start with just one site. I've put 4, now this is pod racing, and 3 Return of the Jedis. So ideally you get one of those in your opening hand. If you're lucky and you get both, then that is great. Game plan with this deck is obviously just stack 2 sites and get drains, pings in, and I have found over the week, maybe it's just my style of play or how I felt the deck went, was more just stacking a site, potentially waiting for your opponent to come to you. Kind of like communing, I guess. I started playing it a bit more like that rather than, in the start I was trying to get the objective, the epic event, force retrieval going, so battling into people. And sorry, I just clipped the card off them by accident. Yeah, I was trying to battle and get the force retrieval, but I was struggling to hold a second site and do that as well, so kind of gave up on that a little bit and just played Star Wars, and it seems to work a lot better. The Anakin package with this build, I have gone backwards and forwards. At one point I had just 3 Anakins, then I had 4, I had 3 Padawans, 1 Knight, and then I did 3 Knights, 1 Padawan. I think 2 of each seems to be the sweet spot. Jedi Knight Anakin, he is a beast. He obviously, power 7, give him a lightsaber, he's defense rate 8, mean attrition less than 6, and you can lose 2 force to add a battle destiny. So on his own, he pretty much clears a site. Obviously it costs you 2 force to do that, but if you're initiating battle and you get to retrieve 1, You know, you're essentially losing a force to add a battle destiny, and yeah, he's stonking. And then, but he does cost, you know, the Earth. 8 force is a lot, so he's more the, I found, mid-late game when everyone's activation is out and you've got some force left over, you can, you know, save a couple. Which is why I like 2 of the Padawans, because not only does he deploy for 5, but he initiates battle for 3. So yeah, so I found 2 of each to be, you know, the nice sweet spot. Obviously 2 Kenobis, I think he needs to be, you need at least 2 of him. This Leia, I think she's my favourite character in this build, and I think she will be in all 3 of the effects, because she's a general, so she's pullable with leaderships, or you can add destiny or stop your opponent during 1-1. When she initiates battle, she's a Skywalker, so she gets a retrieval from the epic event. She gets a retrieval for herself, so she's like 2 force, and she stops Admiral's orders, which can be a real pain. The Lukes, I went with Master Luke. He obviously deploys for a lot, not on Tatooine. 5 is fine. He's only immune attrition less than 4, so you're looking for his bionic hand to get his attrition up to less than 6. And he does become power 8 with the hand. Again, his text, if you can line up a decent destiny to bounce an alien, is super handy. I never actually got to use him in my games, but I was using Luke with lightsaber and Jedi's resilience, which was working quite nicely, and I think a few people have done the same. But again, it was just like deploy him. Sometimes I couldn't have 2 battlegrounds, sometimes I don't have enough force to deploy battle and retrieve. So yeah, so I went with this guy instead. And then we've got our other support characters. Another reason to go back to Return of the Jedi is it pulls the journal, which for Luke and Obi-Wan, you know, Luke with his hand, journal and his lightsaber, he's fairly solid. I put Disarmed in because that came in handy in one of my games. Starting effects. Like I said earlier, I really liked Chris Kelly's idea of using Draw Their Fire and Battle Draw Their Fire, but I liked it, but not fully. I think it doesn't do enough, because you've only got essentially 2 effect slots, so I think Speak has to be one of them to pull out the farm and then get use piles, because you are searching for certain cards in this build. So my second effect, I went with Saito for matching weapons, because with General Kenobi, as much as I love the fact he pulls Qui-Gon's lightsaber, which is Destiny 5, I wanted the extra drain damage with that. So and again, this is why I went with Master Luke over Luke with lightsaber, just so that he can pull his own lightsaber, and then both of those guys can use the journal. So I'm leaning towards more Saito. Also, Saito pulls Leia's blaster, which comes in handy in one of my games that I'm going to show in a minute. And then Interrupt wise, kind of the same. Alter collateral damage is awesome. I think this is probably going to get an errata soon, because it seems way too strong. So I wouldn't be surprised if it gets nerfed very soon. Also, I chucked in another Gift of the Mentor. I don't think I had that in before. Obviously it's pullable, it's a nice Destiny 5, and with 2 Obis, 2 Lukes, 2 Yodas, you've got more chance of getting it. Then to up the Destiny, I went with an impressive, most impressive. You've got a couple of Jedi, so it works nice. It's Destiny 6. Jedi Levitation, obviously it's just the standard neighbouring. And then First Aid combo, didn't have before. And then Quiet Mercenary, obviously because it pulls Chewie. Destiny 5 cancels Ellis, and the Smuggler's game text, so you can use it. Cancels Ellis, Stunning Leader, Smuggler's game text, so Dr. E, Plunder Barber, and you can break a spy's undercoverness. So yeah, and then I went with the Coruscant nightclub. So it's not too bad, but they can't be excluded, so no barrier, no, you can't use Clash, so just don't forget that. But you can't be, wine-nabbed. And then yeah, just weapons. I was using the episode 1, episode 7, Anakin's lightsaber, because it goes on Anakin, Luke, or Rey. But I've gone back to the original because I prefer it to go on Leia instead of Rey. Leia, and also you'll see in the game I'm about to show, Leia becomes a bit of a beast because of it. So yeah, I definitely prefer the original lightsaber. So that is the deck that I've landed on so far, that I've been enjoying playing, and let's get on with a game review, and I can show you how it's worked. So once again, thanks very much for tuning in to episode 3 of the Massasi Training Temple. It's been great fun this week, playing some games and doing this review. As always, please put some comments down in the description below if you want me to do anything particular, if you've got any ideas for decks or any features for this show that you want me to try and put in. I have got plenty of ideas rattling around that I'm going to start implementing over the next few weeks. I did say I was going to build the next part of the epic event, however I've already gone way over what I was planning to do this week in time, so I think what we're going to do is next weekend I'm going to build that deck, play some games, and give you another review. So until next time, may the Force be with you. Thanks for watching.